Hello and salutations, it's me, Salty. Welcome back to Soys, and today I'm not really doing a review. It's more of a quasi-thought piece on the Moto Origins Flocked Panthor. I found this at Walmart where it's an exclusive, and he retails for $40. I understand that the price is in the flocking. I figured, I don't really want him, but my very good friend Tony over at Analog Toys does want him, and I was like, you know what, Tony, I'll pick it up for you. Luckily enough for me, he doesn't want the box, so I get to open it up and touch it and all that kind of stuff, and at least experience a flocked Panthor. Figured, I'll at least open him up. We'll talk about some packaging and all that kind of stuff, but really, I want to figure out if it's worth it or not. There's only a couple of differences between this Panthor box and the other one. Behind Battle Armor Skeletor here, it says Realistic Fur, it says Collector's Edition down here, and the box is flocked, but really it just kind of feels like there's like a layer of dust on it. Like when you run your hand over something that's really dusty, how kind of smooth it feels. Only there's no dust, but that's what it feels like. Or maybe slimy is not the word I'm looking for, but it's very smooth, but it doesn't feel like fur, if that makes any kind of sense. I'm going to go ahead and get it open, and we'll at least stand the two Panthors side by side, and we'll really start talking about this. Alright, so here's the two Panthors side by side, and it's making the color balance go crazy. Like, watch what happens when I move my hand out of frame. See that? This is what I have to deal with, people. Anyway, one thing I wish, I know it's very hard to make out. He looks almost blue. I wish that the purple on the Flocked Panthor was the normal color, because he is a little bit darker. Really, it's the same toy over again, just with flocked fur. Now, I wasn't alive for, Panthor and Battle Cat and all that when they first came out, and I know the original Panthor was flocked, and those toys had no articulation in them at all. Make kids buy the same toy over again that doesn't move, you gotta add something different, or what have you. I don't know the logistics reason behind it or the marketing reason behind it. I'd assume it's because he didn't have as much armor maybe or something. I don't know. I've talked to Bobby Valla about flocking before, and he tells me that it's a very expensive process. That would be why this Panthor was nearly twice as much as this one. From a price standpoint, I understand why it's as expensive as it is. I guess making it an exclusive kind of makes people want it more, maybe, because if they flocked every Panthor would be that price, and I feel like some people would balk at it, or I don't know. That being said, because it's a Walmart exclusive of all places, Walmart and Target being notorious for not being able to stock exclusives, people like myself had to really, really look for this Panthor. He's been out for a couple months now, at the very least, and I didn't see one on pegs until probably about 3 weeks ago. Kind of lets you know how hard they are to find. The thing I'm wondering if people think this is actually worth it or not. Is it worth the $40 just for the flocked fur? When you can get the same toy for $25 with no fur, is it really worth that much? That's the question I'm asking, because again, I don't have the nostalgia glasses for Flocked Panthor like a lot of people do. I'm not one to judge, if you need your Panthor to be flocked to get that, imagination, that nostalgia, that trip down memory lane. I get it, I get it. That's one of the main reasons we collect, is to try and recapture some of that. I'm not trying to judge people here. How many people actually need that, if that makes any kind of sense? I don't have a statistic or any quantifiable this many people kind of information, but I would wager a guess that most people are fine with just regular Panthor. For me personally, because I have that objectivity of not being, nostalgia driven with this particular example, I view it as this is made of plastic, there's no flocking, I don't have to worry about the flocked fur coming off. There are spots here, like right there, that you can barely make out, where the way it was in the package, it's already got kind of like rub marks on it, and you can hear, here, let me move it in front of the mic. That sound you're hearing, that's the fur rubbing together against other plastic. So that just means it's going to start flaking off. And there are parts on the joints where you can see that it's not flocked at all. So they did, try to combat that a little bit, but they flocked the entire neck. I'm just looking at this from a longevity standpoint. If the vintage Panthors that we find are anything to go off of, that the flocking's going to come off at some point. And it's not even just a price thing. It's not just a, oh, this one's more expensive and the flock's going to come off anyway. It's the amount of time you're going to spend looking for it. If you even find it, the scalper price, that's asinine. I guess I'm trying to determine, or have you guys give me some feedback on this. Is it worth it to you? you know, well, are you happy with this one? Like, I'm more than okay with just this one. It doesn't bother me at all. But what is it that drives you to need the flock on the Panthor? Like, I know Panthor is probably someone's favorite because everybody is someone's favorite. Another thing to kind of think about is characters like Mossman who are flocked. There's a very good chance that we won't get a flocked Mossman, or if we do, it won't be a price that anyone enjoys, and it'll probably be an exclusive on top of that, probably like PowerCon next year or Toy Fair or what have you. And in the case of someone like Mossman, what's more important to you, that he's flocked or that he smells like pine? I understand a lot of people don't particularly enjoy this line because it doesn't have the action gimmicks. Like, Fisto doesn't have his punch, and there's no, like, twist punch waste mechanism in anybody. So I get it. Like, some people need that mechanism or what have you. So I guess on some level it makes sense that if they can include the gimmick, like Flocked Fur, why not do that? I think it comes down purely to nostalgia and people having Panthor as a kid and needing that flock. To someone like me who's relatively new to Motu, it just seems unnecessary because, again, it's the headache that comes along with getting him. It's not the flock in itself. That's not the issue. It's, is it worth hunting down? Is it worth paying aftermarket prices for it? Is it worth, you know, waiting 6 months to a year before you might have a chance at seeing one? And even then, a lot of people don't open these for some reason. What's the point in having flocking that you can, you know, tangibly feel if you're not going to open it? You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess what I'm really doing is just talking a lot but really saying nothing. I'm just trying to get some feedback from all of you, what you think is worth it. Like, where do you draw the line? Would you buy a third or fourth Battle Cat if they flocked him? If they do flock Mossman, are you willing to pay upwards of $35-40 for a single figure because he's flocked? Please, please, please let me know what you think down below. Maybe I'm way off base here. Maybe I'm on the money. I don't know. This is just me trying to kind of figure out the point, I guess. Like, I get it. You know, Panthor and Classics was flocked. Vintage Panthor was flocked. Whenever they do, like, mini versions or whatever, sometimes they flock those. It's part of the toy's history. Like, I get it. Is it something that stopped you from buying Panthor? Like, you won't get this one because you're looking for that one. I'm just trying to get into the head of some of the collectors and all that in our community here. Anyway, I thank you all for stopping by today and spending some time with me and listening to me babble for however long this video is. So, until next time, I'm Salty, signing off.